About muscles. So, what do you need to know about muscle types? So, there are three types of muscle tissue that we have. There is going to be skeletal, cardiac, and smooth. And what you need to do is you need to make a little chart of the different types that we have. And there's a few things that you should know. One is, where is skeletal located and what's its function? Skeletal, make a chart so that you know this. Your skeletal is attached to your bones. It's causing movement of your bones. Cardiac, where do you find that? In your heart. Now, where do you find smooth muscle? Smooth muscle is going to be found around your organs. So if you think about this for a second, when we eat food, how does the food get to our stomach? It gets there via the esophagus, from our pharynx all the way down to our stomach. But if we have somebody do a handstand and I feed them a piece of food, is that food going to get to their stomach? Or I have them drink water, is that going to get to their stomach? And the answer is yes, it does get to their stomach. How does it get there? Well, it's not by gravity. It gets there because of the smooth muscle that's surrounding your esophagus, and it pushes the food down like a toothpaste. Your bladder has smooth muscle. It squeezes it so that your bladder will eject your urine. Your blood vessels, they can dilate and then they can constrict when there's smooth muscle around those arteries. Sometimes you need your blood to dilate, sometimes you need the vessels to constrict. So where do you find skeletal? Attached to the bones, moves your body. Where do you find cardiac? In the heart. How do you find smooth? It's going to be surrounding your organs. Now, how do you tell the difference between skeletal, cardiac, and smooth underneath the microscope? Well, the first thing that you do is, again, this is another step procedure protocol that you follow. So what's the first thing you do? You look for striations. What are striations? You see these bands of lines of alternating light and dark? Those are striations. Which ones on here are striated? Skeletal and cardiac. Perfect. If you suspect that it's muscle and it doesn't have striations, what does that make it? Smooth. Where do you find that? Around your organs. How else? You have this kind of spindle shape cell. And that's how you know you're looking at smooth. Now, both of these have striations. How do you tell the difference in the striations, or which ones are striated? What's the difference between skeletal, cardiac? Well, you see these things right here, these dark lines? These are called intercalated discs. And what intercalated discs are, these are called gap junctions. We're going to learn about them in the junction section. These gap junctions allow stuff to pass from one cell to another. Now, why would that be important in a heart cell? Because in a heart, your ventricles have to beat together and your atria have to beat together. All of the cells in the ventricle go at once. All of the cells, not all at once, but they go in an order and they go in a rhythm. And all the cells in the atria go in a rhythm. So to do that, you want one to contract, you want the other one to contract immediately with it. So what can happen is these gap junctions allow ions and electrical charges to pass through them so that they can all contract. Only cardiac has that, skeletal does not. So if you see striations and intercalated discs, you know you're looking at cardiac. If it's striated and it doesn't, you know you're looking at skeletal. The other thing is that cardiac is branched, skeletal is not. What about the nuclei? Skeletal muscle has multiple nuclei per cell. See this tube right here? This is a cell. This is a cell. Each one has one nuclei to it. Each one has one nuclei. Same thing with our smooth. There's only one nuclei. So multiple nuclei, one nuclei, one nuclei. So which one's multinucleated? Skeletal muscle. Then lastly, which one is voluntary? Which one is involuntary? Well, I can make my biceps contract, so that's voluntary. Can I make my heart contract? Can I make my heart stop contracting? But just by thinking about it? No. So it's involuntary. Can I move my smooth muscle in my intestines? So your entire digestive tract has smooth muscle and it pushes the food like a tube of toothpaste all the way out to the other end. No, I can't. So that is also involuntary. So you make a little chart that you have so you can study, and you can have like location, function, striations, intercalated discs, branched, straight, etc. involuntary or voluntary? This ends up, I think, being a question in the next class when you get to the muscle chapter. So make sure you know the difference in your muscles.